The more information you have, the better the decisions. Data is crucial to do important decisions in Dota games and even before the Dota game in preparation. It's really cool that a big company like SAP is investing into esports and that I can be a part of it is amazing.
Welcome back to the CQ Major. We're about to jump into our second series of the day, but before we do, we want to take a look at all of the groups that have been playing throughout the entirety of the day. We obviously do have our focus on Group A. My name is Rich. I'm going to be your host, and I'm joined by Gods and Black, and let's kick it off with Group B. Let's actually start to talk about what people who've been staying tuned on this stream may have missed, Gods.
Group B started off with Secret 2-0ing Thunder Predator, which was no surprises whatsoever. I think very expected result. Probably one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the tournament against the worst team in the tournament. Can we call them that, Black?
Probably, yeah.
Maybe not. Until they prove otherwise, Thunder Predator is one of the bottom few teams
it's
here.
It's a bottom 13.
Okay.
Yeah, or bottom 6.
You wouldn't a team we don't expect to get out of the best of ones, lower bracket matches. Yeah. And then Forward actually took game 1 against LGD, but lost the next 2 games and what looked like fairly convincing fashion from some of the stats, at least. Ame had 2 games in a row where he just had like 20 kills, no deaths, and just went off.
I mean, if you're Forward or Thunder Predator, you're definitely, no matter who you face in that last match, it's going to be rough. Whether it's Secret or LGD, whew.
Yeah, this is a tough group for either of those teams. Like, I think if you're in one of these other groups, you're like, okay, there's one team like a VP who you can't beat, but you feel you have a good shot against the other, teams in your group. Here, it's like you've got 2 of the best teams in the world.
Yeah. And of course, the winner of that matchup between Thunder P and Forward is going to basically be in that situation where they have one more chance to avoid going straight into that best of 1 in that double elimination tournament in the lower portion of the bracket. They'll have that one more chance, but still definitely an uphill battle to already be in this position in Group B.
Yeah. I feel like Forward, actually, if they weren't in this group, I think they would have quite a good chance of getting top 2.
If they were in like Group A or something. Yeah,
something
they were
like
against the TNC and stuff, maybe.
They have a lot of potential on paper, but, sometimes it's rough luck.
Yeah. Well, Secret LGD, we get a
treat.
Fantastic preview of what's to come in the main event, although I mean the viewers do. We're going to be following the rest of Group A here, but that should be a great series.
Yeah. And before we get back to Group A, let's take a look at Group C as well, just to make sure we have a scope of the entire landscape here. And as you can see, Group C not going to be fully updated, but we can talk about this group and what we do expect to see when these matches actually do take part. We talked about it earlier in the day, but Gods, for anyone who missed that opening of the pregame show, what do you expect out of Group C?
This group could go so many different ways, I think, because of the stand-in factor for a few teams. Liquid playing with Shadow, no Pango, now known as the Pango, missing their 4-position player Zayats, so I think both teams missing very key pieces to their team makes this group kind of hard to predict. J-Storm have a new player as well, not a stand-in, but bringing in Fear to the fold, so I don't know. Yeah. What do we expect?
I mean, that has to be one of the most unpredictable scenarios that you could possibly have, right? In one of the matchups, you have a new player, and then you look at the other matchup, and each team is going to be down a man, going to have those stand-ins.
Yeah, if Liquid and Pango both don't show up, I can easily see J-Storm and VG just making it through, no problem.
Yep.
But yeah, I still believe in Liquid. I think they have what it takes. Like the 4 players they have there, they just have really good synergy between them. So I think they can make it work. But we'll have to see. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, hard to predict. Like Group A, you look at it and you're like, okay, VP +1 going through Group B, Secret LGD, get to Group C, and it's like, is it Liquid or not? And then who's getting this? Is Vici? Vici should be the 2nd slot on paper, but you don't.
I think
really
VG, no matter what, is going to get through. Probably, for me, like the only lock-in for me.
Okay.
And then I have.
And J-Storm is
could
be really good. Exactly. J-Storm is so hard to predict right now.
Yeah, Group C, definitely one of those groups where we kind of just need to see what happens. I feel like information that comes out of Group C going to be so crucial to actually start to look ahead to the main event. But we got one more group that we need to take into account, and that, of course, is Group D. Moving through the alphabet swimmingly here. But as you can see, EG going to be one of the first teams that we have to talk about coming out of Group D. What are we expecting from this one, Black?
I personally think EG and Fnatic, just from like how I rate these teams personally. And then Aster, I thought they have potential, but I actually think their new mid player is a bit worse than the old mid player when it comes to just purely individual skill. And then Alliance, of course, they're a dark horse. They can make it. They've been improving steadily. I just feel like Fnatic should be the better team.
Yeah, I agree on those top two. Aster is such a weird team for me because I'm kind of with you, where it's like I don't rate them that highly, but then they got the first seed in the Chinese qualifiers.
They did,
You know,
yeah.
it's like they beat LGD, they beat Vici Gaming, they came out on top. So it's like
The J Storm, right? It's like,
yeah,
how to rate them?
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to understand just how good some of these teams like J Storm and Aster are when you see their results in their own region. But then you look at international results, and you're like, oh, they're just the third best team in their region. Even though they get the #1 seed, it doesn't really feel like they're at that level yet.
Definitely important things to talk about, but one of the most important things to be thinking about on this stream is going to be Group A. We're about to jump back into our second series of the day, and this one is actually going to determine right off the bat who is getting one of the best places you could have here at this major, and that's going to be a dominating position in their group, and it is going to be TNC versus VP. And, we talk about some of those question teams. TNC was one of them when we got here, based off of everything that happened with them before the major even started.
Yeah, TNC's, been through a roller coaster past 3 months with obviously all the drama around Cuckoo and the team obviously not being able to play with him here. And have shown up. I think that's the most important thing for TNC is just put all that stuff in the back of your mind. Say, screw it, this situation is not good. It's not what we want, but we're going to come here, play Dota, and just, prove the haters wrong. Show people we're still one of the best teams in the world, that we are, a top contender coming out of SEA, and they've got the talent to back it up.
Early in groups, incredibly early, though, in this tournament. When you look at TNC, how much have they really been tested so far? I feel like Virtus.pro is going to be just a slight upgrade in the competition for them.
Very slight. Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice, I know that you're not going to pull any punches. I know that you're going to just say whatever pops into your mind.
I mean, it's just, you can't expect TNC to beat VP. Like, I don't know. They can maybe take a map, but
they've taken maps off VP before.
Beating them twice,
yeah.
It's hard. It's so hard. I just can't see it happening,
Until it happens, though.
Yeah, it can happen. I just can't see it happening. And I'm always right.
Yeah, you are, except for
the first game of the day?
Once today.
Yeah. No,
except for the very first thing you said when you got here.
Dude, if I'm wrong, I can't be right. But if I'm not wrong, I'm right.
Gods, are you going to also be predicting once again? I feel like every single time that we've made a prediction today, it's been the same team. Are we going to be following suit here?
Yeah, we've been very agreeable today.
But
also, I have to say, when you predicted
first,
it was terrible. When I predicted first,
sure.
Wait, let's see. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. Oh wait, you already predicted.
I did.
Okay.
No, I think it's going to be. Kind of wait to see the drafts a bit. I don't think it's as set that VP is heavy favorites coming to this one based on what we just saw. Yeah. Having not watched TNC, it's kind of hard for me to say, I think it's going to be a 2-0 or 2-1 this way. And, we'll see.
Yeah, they're bringing their C flavor.
I believe in. I have a lot of faith in this TNC lineup, even with the stand-in. I think Black mentioned, sometimes having a stand-in can add something new or different. We saw it a bit with Mind Control in the past. We've seen it other times at tournaments where teams have a stand-in and they just look, a bit different in a good way. So
Empire with Resolution, for example.
Yeah, the TI, yeah. So there are some stand-ins where they just, change things in a good way. I don't know if that's what TNC have, but I believe in this team. They've got a ton of potential.
Well, for us right now with TNC, most of what we're looking at is just going to be the numbers that actually came out of their first matchup. But lucky for us, we're actually going to get to take a peek at some words from TNC with this quick interview.
Hi guys, I'm here with Ninja Boogie from TNC Predator. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, weather's nice and cold. I like it.
Nice and cold.
Yeah, it's better than the Philippines.
Yeah. Tell me about your preparation for this tournament. Maybe you had a boot camp or something?
Maybe we boot camp, but we only practiced 2 days with Rayo. So, we're just kind of winging this tournament. We're gonna just let whatever happen. So yeah, not much preparation.
But you had have an experience playing with this roster. You've played WSG qualifiers. So tell me about this experience. It was pretty successful for you.
Yeah, but then at the same time, it's like it's just a Southeast Asian tournament. It should be a given that we're gonna win a tournament. Like since there's not really much competition like for us there. But you know, I'm still confident. You know, I think we can definitely get top 8, top 6 in this tournament with our lineup. So you know, who knows?
Who do you see as your, not probably main opponents, but the most principal ones?
I mean, I think it's always going to be Fnatic, just because we're in the same region. You know, I wish them the best, but I always want to do better than them, just because, you know, we have to prove ourselves, you know, that we're the top dogs in our region, and yeah.
What can you say about your teammates? Do they feel disappointed about not playing the main roster here at the major?
You know, it's shit happens, I guess, and pardon my language, but you know, it's something that we already moved on, and you know, we're already focusing on what lies ahead, you know, and that's why we're practicing with Kuku already, so that after this tournament, we're already ready for the next qualifier, for the next events that we have to go to. So yeah, we're pretty much over the whole fiasco.
And what do you think of the current situation about your region? What can you say about that?
I mean, it's a bit weird because, like, you know, as of now, it's pretty much just us and Fnatic who are, you know, qualifying to every event. But you know, I think with the new system, there's always going to be a new team qualifying to the minor, and it gives them a chance to taste international experience, play against other teams. So I think it's good for the region, you know, having that one team that's always coming in and getting more experience. You know, eventually they'll probably reach our level, like with Fnatic, and give us a run for our money.
What do you think we can see during this major? Because a lot of teams had a pretty big break before the start. So what do you think about what we can see in the first days of the major?
I don't know. You know, like I heard some teams are, you know, performing a lot better than they used to. You know, and a lot of teams are playing with a stand-in. I think Liquid and no Pango. So it's a bit hard to judge who will do well. But you know, there's definitely there's VP, there's Secret. So you have this idea of who's going to be top 4, top. You know, but who knows? You know, like eHome coming out of nowhere, winning the minor, so strong. You know, like they could do well. They're up against VP though, so I don't know. You know, this major, you know, a lot of I think the Western teams and my team personally had like Christmas break and New Year's break. You know, the Chinese side doesn't really celebrate that, so maybe they have the edge in this tournament. Who knows?
Who knows? So, what can you say to all the fans of TNC Predator?
Well, I think this caters more to like the Southeast Asian fans and maybe the Philippines fans. You know, just grow up. You know, be more mature. You know, this whole Kuku situation became worse because of how the fans handled it and made it blow up. So just grow up. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. I wish you good luck at the tournament, and you guys, thanks for watching.
Thank you.
So we get to hear some words from the actual team about a situation that got kind of spicy, to say the least, but also we hear about what they're expecting in this tournament as well. And preparation, definitely not something that they got as much as they wanted. We heard in that interview kind of saying, yeah, to a certain degree, we have to wing it. Maybe only 2 days of practice with our stand-in and something like that, even though, you know, Black says it might reinvigorate the squad to a certain degree. I think we're starting to see what some of the difficulties could be as well, not having that practice.
Yeah, I mean, 2 days of practice is a bit of exaggeration because they've been playing a qualifier with him already, like half a month ago. But obviously, they don't have as much preparation as they wanted to have.
A little bit of a monk-ass situation, though, only getting a few days of practice in.
Yeah, and you've been a last-minute stand-in mercenary from time to time, Black. What's it like? What's it feel like you're just kind of trying to fit into a team? Are you just stay quiet and let them tell you what to do, or do you think you try and voice your opinions about what might work?
It really depends on like the team's approach to it more than your own approach, because some teams, they will just try to adjust to you because they don't expect one person to adjust to 4 players, but rather 4 players adjusting to 1. It's like a bit easier in that regard. And then, yeah, sometimes you have to change your playstyle completely. Other times they just adjust to yours and you can just be yourself because they try to like all empower you. But I'm pretty sure, like in Ryo's case, we have seen Tim's, like from the heroes at least, that he plays like a 3.5 kind of hybrid.
Yeah.
Same with Ryo as well. So
one of the games, it looked like Ryo was playing the support and Tim's was playing the core,
yeah,
at least
so.
based on the
So there must have been some kind of adjusting in their case. So I'm excited to see what they bring, because Tims is a very mechanically gifted player as well.
They picked Earth Spirit and Tims wasn't playing it.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, his Earth Spirit is top notch.
Yeah.
So
But
definitely.
Rio has kind of been more known for his support play in the past as well. So I think a flexible player who's played some offlane, but curious to see what comes of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at least on the panel for us, this is going to give us so much more information when we actually do talk about TNC, when we get to watch a full series with them, instead of just looking back at that data and trying to extrapolate everything that is happening. So this is going to be a very exciting matchup to get full information basically on this group on the mainstream here for the CQ Major. So I'm excited to jump into this one.
Yeah. I mean, we obviously know
Their drafts were in the last games as they appear. So the Magnus was played by Rior. You know, that's an easy role to put your stand-in on. Just empower your carry, please.
And Grimstroke, one of Tim's best heroes as well.
Yep.
I mean, their lineup just looks really cohesive. You know, they have everything. They have team fight. They have strong lanes.
And that game particularly, they crushed in 22 minutes.
I mean, the drafting is actually, from both games, the drafting looks really solid.
Yep.
So if they outdraft VP, I definitely can give them an edge.
If anything, you can see Chaos had some unusual picks. The SF Visage draft trying to take a page from what we saw out of Gambit.
Yeah.
Leading up, and then you've got the Husker, Weaver, Tiny, which seems a bit like a bit
Chaos
of an odd
looked a bit out of there. Like, that draft doesn't make too much sense.
Yep.
I mean, there's a reason they didn't win, of course. And TNC proved to be the better team. Winning in 22 minutes is not an easy feat.
TNC almost didn't qualify. Their match against Mineski in those qualifiers was really close. Because I remember talking to Mineski about it, and they were like, man, we were just one game away. I think they threw, or was it game 2 maybe? They were just one game away from making it to this major, and then they lost in the minor qualifier as well. Because Mineski is obviously a team people look at as one of the big dogs in SEA, but they're nowhere to be seen.
There was a... I remember that in the major qualifier, there was a very harsh loss. And measures might or might not have been taken. But we'll figure that out later.
I don't know what you're talking about here, Black.
It's not
What's
important.
going on? Okay.
I know what I'm talking about.
Another theme of the day at this point.
Just Black knowing everything and us knowing nothing,
Yeah,
Rich.
just
What's
let
going on?
I'm Nostradamus
just let
right
Black
here.
do
Yeah.
whatever he wants to do. This is the first thing I feel like I've learned in Dota, is just let Black do whatever he's going to do. Stay out of his way.
Exactly.
We can go get some lunch now, I think. Black will just solo this panel. We're good.
Yeah,
In case you need to, you know I'll do it. It might not be good. It might not be pretty.
What a great guy. What a great guy. Once again, offering to save the day. Thank you very much, Black. But the question
I
is,
support everywhere where I can, and everyone that I can. So, you want to grab lunch? I'll wing it for 5 minutes. It might be very bad, but at least there's some content, you know.
How can it be bad? I thought you were the top of the
I
top.
mean,
Yeah, I
I'm
thought you were
definitely the
best.
best, but sometimes I'm the best of the worst, and then
yeah, I still don't understand anything you're saying right now, Black.
exactly that's the point.
Let's
And
take
keeping
a
you on
look
your
at the
toes,
Dota.
keeping you on your toes.
Yeah, exactly what I need. Exactly what I need. But we're going to be jumping into the draft finally here, and it is going to be Virtus.pro versus TNC, second matchup of the day. And the stakes definitely kicked up. We've already mentioned it, but if you are able to take down this series, all of a sudden you're looking at a much easier road headed into that double elimination bracket than if you were to drop the ball here. And we're going to be getting it started. What do you actually expect to see now in this draft, Gods?
I imagine we'll see some of the same opening picks, just picking some Medusas early on if it's still in the pool, getting some of those really high impact forward positions early on as well. That keeps him come out, the keepers or Spirit banned out. Question, Black. How good is Io? We keep seeing Io banned. Is Io, I feel like it's just teams default to banning because they're used to banning it, but I'm not convinced it's necessarily like this must ban hero right now.
I think IO right now is only really strong if you have like an expert on it, like a GH, something like that. But if you're just an average IO player, I actually believe the hero is not as good.
Okay. Because last series it was banned, I think, all 3 games. Mostly by Ehome, I want to say. Because VP Roger plays it well.
Very well, yeah. But as I said, if it's not an expert, it just kind of feels like it's really hard to use the new relocate now. Like only people that played it a lot really know how to use it properly now. Because it's like longer duration, or rather longer cast time. It's really hard to obviously bring them out of the fight.
Hey, Black, what picks do you think's coming? They banned Anti-Mage.
Oh, wow.
This is like the
first ban.
let's just keep picking Medusa, you know, it keeps working, so
TNC
screw it.
TNC could just first pick it.
They
Like,
could?
yeah. Why not?
Nah, they're going to go Magnus. I think this is okay.
I think Magnus is actually one of the best answers to a Medusa. Because Medusa likes to play a somewhat slow game.
Yeah, you
and
can
so
match
does
your
Magnus.
farm.
Yeah.
Whoever you're empowering is just like, okay, sweet.
Or Lich again.
Are they
Lich
going
Jug?
to not go? Oh, they do.
Lich Dusa. Okay. I mean, you don't ban animation, don't go
Are they
Dusa.
going to Kunkka?
Kunkka first two.
Is Kunkka kind of Medusa counter in any way, do you think? Or
It might also still be a support. Not a great support though, I think, right now. Like, there's so much emphasis on the laning phase that a Kunkka kind of...
yeah, Kunkka Magnus like 3-4 lane doesn't sound that scary or
Yeah.
potent by any means.
I mean, Dusa should have a hard lane on paper, right? You just get denied.
I think that's the idea behind this first two Kunkkas. Let's get the hero that can match up mid and just outfarm her, out-CS her, give her the roughest lane possible. You could have maybe gone for the OD other teams have gone, but Kunkka, you've got Empower for this game, so we can really see this Kunkka be enabled to have a fantastic start.
Yeah, very solid for sure.
It's also Armel who's, you know, him versus no one is, like, to me, the story of this matchup. So I think he sees this Medusa and he instantly knows what hero he wants to play against Medusa. He's probably telling his captain, just pick me this now. I don't want it to get banned out.
Yeah. And then we obviously still have the teamfight potential of a Kunkka as well.
Yep.
Kunkka Magnus is some insane teamfight possibilities. So.
Actually, ban OD, I guess, realizing that, you know, the Medusa could go side lane.
Yeah, and
So
OD crushes
great.
Kunkka mid lane.
Yeah,
So that now confirms that Kunkka is actually mid lane. Wouldn't make sense to ban the OD otherwise. The Lich pick though. I'm a really big Lich fan. I feel like Lich rarely loses. You know, at the minor, it had 80% win rate out of 15 games or something like that. It was ridiculous.
10 seconds
So,
remaining.
what if you were TNC? What would you do against Lich?
5 seconds remaining.
Or, you know, you don't have to address the Lich,
It's
do
so
you?
hard though. Like
Yeah,
the
it's-
hero's so good.
I want to say you don't go too all in on the physical damage, but you've got Magnus, so you want to get somebody to empower.
Yeah.
Um,
Like the best way obviously is to purge off the shield, but it's
Yeah.
only Nullifier does that, or a Shadow Demon, but you don't have that.
Brewmaster. I've seen some teams do Brewmaster.
Yeah, that's a
but-
possibility.
I mean, based on their last game, it was the 3-position Magnus, so more likely we see Rior playing Magnus, and then they get some high-impact supports.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some just big team fight. Like I think Phoenix is a great hero. TNC have always been really good on. Gives them good team fight. Gives them magic damage. Fire spirits against Medusa. You don't care about that. The Lich armor as well.
Mm.
I think building some big team fight around a Phoenix so you can actually go head-on 5v5 could look nice.
Remaining.
Yeah, but it's also kind of risky though, going 5v5 against Medusa. One of her strongest assets in the game, right? And it will just depend on.
It's TNC. These guys love to fight.
Yeah, they love to brawl for sure. I don't know
Yeah.
team fight necessarily, but they definitely love to brawl. They run in here, kill you, run out, and then run back in again. It's definitely their specialty. What do you think about a Bad Rider ban?
Boy, I think there was it played in one of their games just now? It might, I can't recall, but Bat Rider, what? Magic damage, maybe going to cause some problems in the lane, but I don't know what.
And I think
It seems a
Ryo
bit
actually
odd.
plays one of his better heroes, I would say. Bad
Okay.
Rider. I remember him having quite a lot of games on that hero. But yeah, Bad Rider to me never wins. Like he has sometimes he has a good lane, but he just doesn't end games. He just doesn't do much.
What do you think about the Lich, though? You were the one who kind of brought up the question. I haven't heard you say it yet. What do you think actually needs to happen in the draft? Do you think they need to play around it?
No, as I said, like I've been like scrimming quite a lot, like having a lot of practice games against other teams and stuff. Whenever there's Lich, it just seems like just really hard to initiate properly because the guy you initiate on, he gets his Frost Shield, the entire team just gets slowed, and then you're in a really rough spot in the team fight already. Or you want to push the tower, he puts the Frost Shield on the tower, and then suddenly your entire team is slowed as well. I just think he's a really solid hero, and he might even be on the verge of, you know, I mean, he's getting first picked, first banned all the time.
Yeah, and now you've got Lich with Grimstroke, which is one of the best combos in Dota.
Lich
so
Grimstroke, the double Lich ult is ridiculous, man.
yeah,
That is, it's brutal. Like losing team fights right now is not, I don't think it's going to happen.
and you're losing team fights to supports is what's crazy about this combo.
Yeah. I'm
so
surprised
hard
they
to
got
fight
through
into.
actually. Like
Yeah.
either of those two, if they're not picked up first phase, both of them, one of them gets banned usually. So getting this combo that late is very nice for VP for sure.
TNC response.
I mean, they need to have something like a Juggernaut could be good.
I think even going back to the PA, I mean, PA sounds bad because it's so much physical damage, but I don't mind it because you can just jump the supports and blow them up.
You think PA is better than Jug as carry position? Or?
Against Medusa?
Because Jug is kind of immune to the combo at least.
Yeah, with the Blade Fury. I mean, PA, you're immune when you get your BKB. It's like, you just want a carry that's going to build BKB, to me, 100%. Now you see the Tide, so...
PA
Lane
is
against
rough.
Tide, yeah, PA sounds rough. Jug does sound a whole lot better now.
Jug is also a bit rough, though. Slark is pretty good. It's
Slark
good against
against
Tide, against Medusa.
Yeah.
And then...
You just ulti when the Lich Chainfrost comes out or something?
It's a bit scary against the Grimstroke, whatever
The
Phantom
silence,
it is.
Yeah. The Phantom Embrace.
But I think the hero could be really good here. He gets a good landing phase for sure. He can snowball.
5 seconds.
They have good setup for it. They have M-Power for Slark, which is really good. I could see it work. Then the last pick, there's support for
Yeah, I'm
position 4.
just not sold on Slark as a hero, but if there's a game for Slark, it's something like this. And sure enough, yeah.
It is.
So you're not sold on Slark, but here, this seems like a wise decision in your mind?
If you can't pick Slark here, then the hero is absolutely garbage. So this is the game for a Slark. It's a great matchup versus Tide and Medusa, which are the two core heroes on the other side. So you want to address them with your pick here. You don't worry about what the supports bring to the table with your carry pick here.
Yeah, as a Slark spammer, this is like the Slark dream. You have M-Power on your own team. You have Grave. You have Kunkka Boat. There's so many things going for you. It's it's a perfect Slark game so far, at least. And VP will have to address it. They'll pick something like a Faceless Void, I think, just to shut it down. So TNC is probably gonna look to ban that hero. Rubik.
Void.
So they think it might be. I mean, they definitely can't just.
Last time they ran 5-position Dazzle and their Ninja Boogie played it, and 3-position Magnus. So I think they're expecting a 4-position hero to come out.
Oh yeah, I mixed it up. I thought TNC banned Rubik. It would make no sense. Yeah.
And Tiny. So
position 4 Tiny.
Position 4 Tiny or Magnus
3,
position 4 Magnus Tiny in some order.
Oh, so Void is banned actually.
Give another playmaker, someone to make stuff happen.
Okay, so other than Void, there's not really a premium carry that's super good against Slark. It used to be Anti-Mage, but obviously it's also banned out.
Let's see some Bloodseeker.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know, man.
Is
I don't know,
Bloodseeker-
man. If you want to lose, go ahead. If they pick Bloodseeker, I'm going TNC.
They might just go back to the Juggernaut or something again?
Yeah, Juggernaut, but
Lich. Then you've got Lich Jug, really strong lane.
It's a really strong lane.
It's not like a way of dealing with Slark, but you know your 5-man. Slark doesn't want to play against this 5-man type lineup, and I think that's where getting him could work. Or you get like a Terrorblade even.
I could see it.
I think this is a decent TB game.
It's
Maybe
a
a
fine
little
TB
bit
game,
greedy. TB Medusa Tide, but
I feel like there's no like game-winning last pick, you know? Like it's gonna be an average here no matter what. It's not like an auto win.
Sure.
Whereas
Yeah,
oftentimes we see this last pick, suddenly they have like a Terrorblade last pick. Oh, whoa. What do we do now? It's not going to happen this game. TNC's lineup is very solid. Power push, late game. Lanes. Not much to complain about. But VP, man. Their team fight is impeccable, man.
Yeah.
They have like 4 team fighters. It's ridiculous. But they definitely lack catch. They somehow need to address the catch issue.
They lack any way to really push. I mean, Medusa kind of sort of slow sieges, but if they want to play this fast-paced game and prevent Slark from countering their lineup, you want to try and get racks by like 25 minutes with this Medusa push. That's where the Jug makes sense to me.
What do you think about like a Drow Ranger? Just like go for it?
Oh, yeah, Drow's not bad here.
It's very risky against Slark though, late game. Like
yeah, it goes like both ways in the mid game a bit with the silence, but I think it just doesn't feel like a VP thing, but who knows what they've been practicing and playing at home.
Timbers.
Choose your hero.
Okay.
Can work.
Yeah, this was the hero that started getting picked a lot when Magnus came to play, and there it also was picked a ton against these Kunkka mids. So we're going to see Ramsey
So
on
it's a safe lane
Dusa.
That's going to struggle so hard against a tiny Magnus though, I think.
But I think they also say she would have struggled mid against the Kunkka, so it's like, okay, let's get a favorable matchup mid with the Kunkka, the Kunkka playing against Timbersaw, and hope that works a bit better for us.
Of course, one change with the new Slark. He's actually quite good against Timber now, because when you pounce on him, he can't chain out anymore. Timber used to be quite good against Slark, but now it goes both ways. So I think if the Slark just gets fat, they have no way to stop him. Like if this Slark gets like a minute 10, 12 Shadowblade threats, he's just gonna go completely out of control. His lane is gonna be good no matter what against the Tidehunter. I'm a bit scared for VP. They need to somehow.
Was Slark the answer? And this time, Gods, you're going to be making the prediction
so
first.
I gotta screw us up with my terrible predictions.
I'm hoping that's a thing.
No, I'm just hoping he goes TNC because I was going to go TNC.
Oh, okay. You want me? That means you don't want me to go TNC.
No, I want you to go TNC.
Oh, no, I think VP's got this.
Really?
I think that the adjustment. No, I like the adjustment with the last pick Timber. They've got the mid matchup that works for them. I think these two teams playing each other is so much about that Armel versus no one matchup, and VP solved that a bit with the last pick. Yeah, Medusa's not gonna have a great time, but I don't think Slark can take over the game against a tied Grimstroke lane.
And
I want
to go TNC, but
yeah,
I can't go against Lich Grimstroke, man. The combo is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I have to go VP. Just based on draft, VP should have this. The only way...
You had a real opportunity to shine here. Now you're going to predict a VP for the 4th time today.
Welcome to the VP panel.
But the only way VP loses this game is if the Slark goes completely ham. And it can happen.
So you were just selling TNC's line because you were trying to convince me to pick TNC.
Is he just trying to bait you?
He
spent the black.
He spent the last 3 minutes of the draft telling me how amazing TNC's draft was.
All right. Kyle, Toby, we have a group of analysts that will predict nothing but VP. Who do you guys think is going to be able to take this one?
I will go with anyone that Kyle says and anyone that Black doesn't say. So when the two of these align together, I feel pretty good.
I think this game goes both ways. I think VP's big advantage here is that there's just not really that much sustained damage on the side of TNC. And sure, if the Slark has this dream game, he can take over, but realistically, they're so beefy on the side of VP, and I don't agree with Black. I don't think his lane is going to be free up against a Grimstroke and a Tide.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
I always find it difficult to go against anything which has the Magnus upgrade. Like, when you get in power, there's ways for recovery. The team fight is really scary if TNC can actually hit it. But they need to hit it straight up, or else the Tide, the Deuce, the Timber will all survive through.
Yeah, so they pinged out the Medusa just then because they recognize he actually went side lane items. They know he's not going mid now, and they're going to look to swap lanes. You can already see them doing just now. They're going to put Tide mid, who does very well up against a Kunkka, and they ideally wanted to put Timber in a safe lane solo against a Tiny, but as you can see, TNC, they get the read just based on the items. And
yeah, that's
always important to scout.
That's really smart as well. Like, you kind of always thought the Medusa would go to the side lane anyway, and then no one would be into the mid lane, just because it's their normal places to head to. But yeah, maybe they weren't expecting these exact matchups. But Tim's, scout out as much as he possibly can, just on bottom lane, trying to be a bit more of a pain in the butt. The fact the creep wave doesn't aggro to him allows him just to harass no one as he runs into the lane. And it will be the Slark on the off lane. So aggressive tri-lane in from TNC, trying to get up in the face of the Timbersaw. No one running this, we'll call this the Radiant off lane for the moment. It's the Radiant solo lane.
And this is important. They're going to TP down bottom with the Grimstroke immediately. You already get a free wave on the Timber. If they can contest for this second wave, he's going to hit level 2, and it's much harder for this team to kill him.
I like how Solo's already trying to play with Rio. Rio tried to skewer him back underneath the tier 1 tower and get some extra damage, but won't happen. But bottom lane, there's that tri-lane going to work. It's a 3-man whirling death, reactive armor, probably not enough regeneration, maybe when Roger. Oh, that damage! Tim's one more attack from Roger. The salve will keep Tim's alive. Don't think he'll get in range for another attack. No, he will not. But definitely shows you. Wow. Really, Slark?
Well played. Really well played. He gets the double cancel into the connection. And that you're totally fine with that trade if you're VP. Look at all the damage and regen they expended.
Yeah. They got hit so heavily by no one to try and bring him down. And you're right, because he's the offlaner, right? So, okay, you give away first blood. Sure, it goes to Tim's. Mid lane still looking pretty good for the Kunkka. 10-5 versus a 5-0 Tidehunter. I thought this lane would have been a little bit more in favor of the Tidehunter.
No, it's very difficult to out-CS a Kunkka because of the way your Tidebringer affects denies. So he's doing a very good job on Armel of just toggling it constantly to ensure he gets the denies without wasting it for the harass. And Pasha, until he's like level 3 or 4, you can't really compete.
So he just has to wait it out. Top lane's trying to look for their own little fun. Solo's trying to keep the Magnus out of play. So far done a pretty good job. It's 2-0 for the Magnus versus Ramsey's 10-9. So a lot of denies on that top lane. And Solo can tank through a lot by just popping the Frost Shield on himself. But that doesn't help when he gets pulled back in by the Shockwave.
He's doing a good job, though. You're fine trading. That's the job of a support, is to expend the
They're
resources
going again
of the
on bottom.
offlaner.
They're after no one. The stun's out on him. Toss him up. Couple of 6 charges will not do enough. And Roger's stun comes a little too late. The ink swell. Something you have to prep a long time before it's required.
It's just going to be important that they establish dominance in this bottom lane. VP is totally fine trading deaths for XP and gold because at a certain point, the Timbersaw, notably level 6, becomes not just unkillable, but a huge threat on a Slark.
I mean, he's such dicks as well. Toss level 1 from Tims just throws no one back into the rest of the TNC lineup. They want to leash him and control him. Of course, they'll dodge the stun from Roger. Now, he's got nothing else to give. No mana left in the tank for an ability. He's just trying to put his body on the line, but that's not the body that TNC want. They want to continuously shut down no one, and I can't help but have your words from Series 1 in my ear, like, what happens when no one doesn't get a good game?
Well, it's a benefit in this sense, though, that, you know, Ramses is having a completely free time, but I'm saying wild deaths aren't a huge deal. VP, you want to try and, you know, minimize the damage a little bit. That was a big death on no one, and that's something you see a lot of teams do nowadays, where if you can get the 1 kill into the teleport back and immediately kill that core again and force that long walk of shame, you're going to get yourselves out to a nice advantage.
You notice what item Timbersaw has also expended to try and reduce the duration of this walk of shame? He's actually burnt the smoke. You thought Solo was being pretty frivolous with it in the first series. Now no one's doing it. X marks a spot in towards the mid, setting up with Tims to toss him all the way back, combining with a quick little avalanche. Is there a follow-up? No. Pasha knew the torrent was coming, and he'll end up dodging, gets hit by the Tidebringer, but then salves up knowing he's out of range of the Kunkka.
Armel's doing a great job middle. He's super quick on toggling the Tidebringer. He has not squandered it once.
Yeah, really trying to stay up in the face of Pasha, while bottom lane, the poison touch from Boogie tries to zone out no one. Lich will TP down, so no more Grimstroke on the bottom lane, at least not for the moment.
Yeah, but this is the benefit of 2v1s versus 3v2s, where up top, they've completely shut down this Rior Magnus, and now Medusa's in a position as Ramses. He has 3 Wraith Bands, he can win the lane by himself.
That's actually a nice stroke of fate. Goes through Tims and over towards Ninja Boogie, but Gabby getting involved in the fight. Ninja Boogie's got such sustain, both stick charges and the Shadow Wave, but the stun that was on no one allows him to secure the kill for Roger. Still a 1-for-1 trade-off, and Gabby continues to steal up this Essence, looking for a little bit more. No pounce available. He's got high movement speed against Roger, but he'll pull back.
He already has 3 permanent agility as well. Not bad for a Slark. It's one of the changes. Underlord and Slark now steal agility and strength respectively for the entire game. Or damage, rather.
Ramses, he's got some friends on the way. But burning through the shield. That's why they replaced it with a new one. But Poison Touch, Ramses, does he have the life? 5 HP, and one more tick would have done it. Just one more tick would have done it. Meanwhile, Solo's trying to find this solo kill over on the Magnus. But he's back up and around the trees, a quick shockwave out, but Solo does find the blood. He'll lose his life for this as Ninja Boogie would chase him through the tree line, but that one range creep stuck on him. And then on bottom lane, Tims and Gabby looking to go once more. Actually missing the toss. He wants it over on the Grimstroke, but it won't stop Gabby from diving underneath the tower, just going after Roger. And mid lane, you're right, the boat is out, looking after the Tidehunter. X marks the spot, should be not pulling him back, it's already gone.
He got close, but if his Tidebringer still did pure damage instead of physical, I think he finds that kill on Tide, but was not enough damage.
And we're really keeping Weapus on his toes for the observing today.
They're for real.
Nice little haste rune for Tims, and he realizes he can't use it at all.
Yeah, but this
goes back to base. Roger chasing on the bottom lane. Gabby is rotated over, so movements from TNC starting to switch up their lanes.
Yep, and this is the concern, though, where you're in a scenario where you have 1 core on your side that's just not really in the game at all, in the Rior Mag, whereas Timbersaw, even though he's died 3 times, he's now level 5. He's perfectly fine down the bottom lane. You've got to rotate out of there. And you've effectively now got 3 supports on the side of TNC, and Gabby, because he was tri-land, not hitting level 6 as fast as you'd like a Slark.
Yep. This allows no one just to tank up bottom lane. Tims will come to do the defense job. He's at least got some good counter push inside the Tiny once he can find more levels than 3. But Ninja Boogie's doing a good job now of keeping the Deucer down. So Ramses Is that just that time you want to go jungle?
I think so. It's more about the fact that Ninja Boogie and the entire tri-lane of TNC have now moved towards top. So it's just become a little dangerous up here. And you're already at a point with treads and 3 Wraith Bands that you're strong enough to just farm woods. But we'll see. They did see that Tim's was rotating down to the bottom lane, so they know there's max 2 heroes up here. So they probably feel more confident. Armel actually swapping to the bottom lane.
There's a huge stack that he'll probably want to farm up if he's given some space. No one pulled his own creep wave over. He's just building up the reactive armor stack, so even if they do attack into him, that's still 25 armor they have to get through, but Armel won't care as long as he takes the majority of this neutral stack. The TNC has been the ones preparing, and he got a lot of it. 68 CS now over on the Kunkka. His net worth almost 1,000 above the Dusa. Interesting fun toss. Roger burns everything he's got over on the Kunkka, but X marks a spot. Avalanche hold him in position, and they bring the boat down. But Roger, timing's a little bit off from TNC, so Roger can survive a little bit longer. He'll still die to Tim's fists, but they had to work for it.
This is a great game so far by Armel, going for that typical double bracer that I want to say no one made popular at first, but I could be wrong. Question is, will we see the Radiance Kunkka that China showed off with the Miner?
For now, it looks like just keeping the damage up is good. Ninja Boogie,
Oh,
TP
no.
barely in time.
That's on Ramses. He didn't snake him, and he didn't even auto-attack him. He probably didn't recognize that Roger was TPing in, because they certainly would have had the damage to finish that kill.
No problems for VP. Remember, VP went through one hell of a marathon of full best of 3. TNC's road to this winners bracket match was a lot easier.
It's going to be a really big match here because I'll be honest, I would not want to face eHome in a decider. Starting the upper brackets, so critical, especially when you consider the way, you win 1 BO3 and all of a sudden you're top 6. That's enough points to almost guarantee a TI invite.
And VP looked like they had a couple of problems as well in the first series. Like, it didn't look clean. The drafting from eHome was able to be superior as well.
Dire's middle tower
On top, this Slark's being bullied a bit by the Dusa. There's no one up here helping him. Yeah, sure, there's a Dazzle pulling a bit, but it's one of the downsides of a tiny support. He just doesn't have the levels to really influence the map at the moment. Level 5, he's just been camping bottom. It's an issue because the Mag is looking to recover middle as well. Armel farming jungle, but we'll see. He's going to go Shadowblade, and I like that choice. He's going to try and get involved early.
That does make it good for those quick rotations to stop things like this happening, and you can build it to a Silver Edge too, right? Against no one, because he's just a beast on the bottom lane. Clark missing the pounce over on Solar. That would have been a guaranteed kill, especially with the rotation from Armel. Woo! Oh, that's one way to remove Frost Shield. Kunkka, X marks spot, boat coming in too, is going to connect. No, it actually doesn't exactly. Same with the Ravage. Just a quick Shadow Amulet for Armel. Gives him a little bit of invis and time to buy, while Ninja Boogie chasing down Grimstroke, who begins his own TP. They'll find him in the tree lines, a pounce forward, finds the kill, but then Ramses with a split shot damage kills off Ninja Boogie, and Gabby has to hide in the trees. They're actually TPing back to shrine up quickly and get back into the fight.
In the meantime, though, Rior, with that DD rune and the Empower on the Catapultant himself, does take that mid tower. Arguably the most important one for a Dire side to acquire.
I kind of almost forget about the Magnus. They've been giving him that mid lane for the last 5 minutes. So he's gotten the levels, he's gotten the farm. Top lane, Armel going in again. Gabby, this time the leash will come in, but so will the Chain Frost. Bounce up and down, but it will not keep the bounce going. Back into Armel, tries to go invis again with the Shadow Amulet. Tim's creates some space and then tosses him back up to the creep wave, away from no one's Timber Chain. But no one. He's got Shark and Revival, and he goes right through the Kunkka. Knowing where he's hiding, Dazzle, no Shallow Grave leveled up. Even though he's level 6, decided to bypass it. And what a rotation in from no one. Having all the time to farm, and now he's 2, 3, 4 on the board for KDA.
Yeah, a little sloppy from TNC because Rior, he does such a great job killing the mid tower, but then he rotates to bottom. He's still not looking to get involved, and TNC are fighting up top like this is going to be an even battle, and it really just is not. The entire squad of VP show up, and they blow the Ravage and
yeah,
clean up the tower.
Is the Blink Dagger for the Magnus really that important? especially when the Magnus is probably going to die. Silenced up, Roger staying by him to land the stun, and it's very easy with the Deucer to have enough damage to get through the rest of that Magnus. Putting the shield over on Roger, actually not triggering the way they would like it to on the Magnus, but he cannot juke it through the tree lines. Very sinister gaze, and the Magnus walks back into him and delays that blink dagger timing.
And VP, as always, do a great job of ensuring that Ramses gets the kill. By far the best in the world at giving their star players that extra gold influx from these last hit kills. And here comes the smoke, though, from the side of TNC. It's an Invis Kunkka. Shadowblade's finished.
Is it worth killing? The Courier was carrying through the Buckler as well as the Crimson Guard. But they decide to let it go. Ramses, X marks spot turret. They want the core. That's the bigger kill for them, and they claim it too. No one gonna try and find a rebuttal as Tims is on the run. They've already used their abilities, but with the arrival of the Magnets and the RP, maybe they think twice about it. Nope, no one. Timber Chain's underneath the tier 1 tower. Tim's can toss him up, but that won't stop no one from just charging forward, especially when he's got the Frost Shield on him. Slow down everyone that wants to attack him, then find an easier target. Ninja Boogie, shark him to cut the trees, make it a faster line over towards him.
He's so
and
deep.
Even in
the
the
double chain
lane,
frost.
and now with the double chain frost out, how do you actually stop this? The creep wave kept it alive a very long time, and Lich can now back up a little bit further, but he doesn't have enough life to get up the ramp and away to safety. The Dazzle still did end up dying, but took the attention of both Pasha and No One.
Yeah, look at the
They're not out
inventory on Solo, by the way. He's in his death. He purchased sentries. He's got 6. They're ready for the Shadow Blades.
I love Armel lining up with the Radiant Creep Waves. We've got the cleave onto both the heroes. The Ravage from Pasha, he's actually going to blow it. Trying to get some distance, but the X marks the spot, and Ship is still going to come in and kill him off.
We're watching the Armel show right now, Toby, and that's what we're going to need to continue keeping the channel tuned to if you'd like to see a TNC victory. So far, doing a great job. They have the Shadow Blade up on Kunkka, almost finished on Slark. But as I said, Solo, he's aware of how this game's going to be played out. And I expect to see him placing sentries all over the high grounds and towers to ensure his course stays safe. And another smoke from TNC, this time looking ahead, possibly towards the top shrine area of the jungle, just continuing to hunt Ramses, who has yet to skill his ultimate.
Nice sentry ward. They find Mel. Riola's in the neighborhood. He's got Blink Dagger available and RP, but No One and Solo nicely split up. But it doesn't matter when Armel can just TP away to safety. Where are these stuns available when Ravage is down and you have a Timbersaw and a Tidehunter just standing there?
Yep. Shadowblade going to be finished as soon as Gabby finishes these stacks. TNC going to try and continue just staying aggressive. It's very important that they're a tempo lineup. They want to find that initial kill and then chase for more. VP, you're looking to just bait, get a nice turnaround with an RP. We already saw how willing they are to play. Oh, no.
The Magnus. They didn't have enough for this. Armel will come in and clean up a lot of it. He walked into the middle and just got whacked down by the Prowler, and Gabby didn't really seem to want to get into that. Oops.
Oops, indeed.
Meanwhile, Virtus.pro taking bottom lane. But Armel's got even more money now. Building into the armor. He's going to go for the ship. I don't think he gets in range. Okay, he'll get in range to cut once, but they'll still lose the bottom tier 1. But the Courier gets sniped up by Gabby. That had the ultimate orb on it. That was, okay.
Vision here. This could be a dead Lich.
Yeah, it could be. But then again, they put them together, and here we go once again. Let the Chain Frost fly. Dazzle will buy back quickly, looking to stay involved in this engagement. Needs to try and keep Gabby alive and fighting. So they empower him up. Where are these RPs? You've still got Blink Dagger RP available. I haven't seen it used. He's had the Blink Dagger for a good 3 to 4 minutes.
You can't kill these guys. The Bash brothers are way too tanky.
Well, they still decide to skewer underneath the tower. No one's happy to fight,
Ravage
but he's running very low on mana. Arcane Boots off cooldown in 2 seconds time. But a triple kill in from No One. He wants to get more. Gabby does not have the Shadow Dance. They burn the Ravage. It's an ultra kill for No One. 17 minutes in. They really are the Bash brothers.
They're not afraid of anything, Toby. Like, you're walking around with near 4,000 hero combined, 4,000 health rather, with a Vlad's and a Crimson Guard. Like, they were talking about the Slark snowballing. How do you kill a Timbersaw as TNC?
You need the Silver Edge, right? And you're seeing actually where Timbersaw spent almost all of his time as well with that heat map. Everything is on the bottom lane, and all the kills have been on the dire side of the river. aggressive and behind the tier 2 towers.
That's how you got to play it. It's snowball hero. You get ahead, and all of a sudden, you're just too damn tanky. Requires 2 or 3 enemy heroes just to stop you from diving, let alone actually threaten you. And they're going to smoke on the side of TNC. I don't know if this is the way they're trying to play this game at the moment. It might be more of a time to split push, or maybe a cute Roche play.
Oof,
Nope.
They don't have enough damage for Roshan. The Dire are scanning up the hill. They won't find anyone there. I think they're probably still just looking for the Deucer. They have the jump power. There's Gabby who can come under the cover of the Shadow Blade. They do not want Pasha. Sentry wards go down. Slark has to cut his way out through the tree lines. The creeps actually hold him in, so is the Sinister Gaze, pulling Gabby back down. No other choice but to pop the ultimate, the Shadow Dance away to safety. Damn, no one really wants to find these kills. He just chains forward. Anything he can find. Tim's does find one thing underneath his own Observer Ward. Using that 4-4 combination of Avalanche Toss. Roger, no stun available from him either.
It will give away the ward, though, I think. Roger, he's going to bring the courier out. Yeah, because they don't want to waste another sentry. They already have the one on the low ground. And it's just so critical that you have these sentries against double Shadow Blades.
But then Slark can just find another fight. Roger in real trouble, being pulled back down again by the Shockwave, keeping him in range of the Slark's attack. And then X marks the spot.
Perfect.
Pasha, they just go from one to the next, pull him back in. The boat will crunch. And Tidehunter, no Ravage available, still on cooldown for 20 seconds time, but he doesn't matter when he's got that very thick hide. TNC just can't break through. There's Observe Wards from both sides up on top of the hill, so both have extra information, but look for an easier target. Over towards the Lich. Solo dies once again.
This is how you want to play the game, though. Just keep finding these pickoffs. They've got this great vision placed. Continue playing around it. Find kills on supports. Threaten for more. And then when you force the rotations and the TPs from these big tanky cores, you can back off. But this is exactly how you want to play this kind of lineup on the side of TNC.
As long as Gabby can keep being involved in this too, just watch that agility start to rack up.
Yep.
19, 20 minutes in, up to the 6 permanent agility stolen. 20-minute bounty runes will start to appear, so there'll be contest over this.
There will be a Scotty finished on the Medusa now, and VP all of a sudden a lot stronger. Might look to threaten Roshan. They won't take any damage from doing so, and as long as they can avoid a massive RP Kunkka combo, there's not a ton of AoE to worry about when you compare their massive team fight.
Kunkka actually doesn't have a lot of mana to work with, and in fact, they're not even there. TPs are now coming back over from Kunkka. He drops everything. Quick one charge that actually gives him enough to fight with. Ninja Boogie's looking at the front lines. Torrent connects over on 4. Make it 5 if you count Roshan, and Magnus, he's ready for the jump in, but they're not finding the exact opening they want. Tim's will be the one who can jump in. He's got the Blink Dagger available. But they're swarming like sharks, TNC, around the Roche pit. There's your jump in from the Tiny. Avalanche and Toss. Roshan down to 800 HP. Magnus still waiting. The Ravage able to actually clip on him. And they've already got the kill over on Tiny. Magnus, now there's your blink in with the RP. The follow-up as well with the poison, but the double chain frost is going to really start her bouncing back down again. This is horrendous for TNC. The Aegis Immortal, of course, did manage to get into the hands of the Slark. So he'll pounce himself away. But there's still Kunkka and Tiny down. Virtus.pro did... Actually, that's not that bad for TNC when you think about it.
They got the Roche kill and a tower off that, so the gold disparity really doesn't change too much. Yeah, you're going to lose some farming time on RML, but I bring this up a lot. He spent his gold before he died. He got those 2 parts of the BKB, so he's not really losing gold. Obviously, you want to be on map and not dying. You give away bounty, but it's just making the best of a crappy situation.
And it's not like VP can really capitalize on it. Like, they've got no Aegis to push in. Their Ravage is down. TNC's RP is down. So everything just goes back to the status quo. But is that actually in your favor for your TNC? Mainly knowing that Ramsey's getting bigger and bigger. He's the number 1 net worth on the field. No one seems to be untouchable. Even the Tidehunter's very
there's the Silver Edge.
Yep, so with the Silver Edge up, Tim's comes in for the Avalanche Toss. They're just breaking no one in half. But then again, here comes your Frost Shield. Here comes your support from Solo and Roger. No one pulled in, but then he just Timber Chains away from the boat of Kunkka. And they're looking to hunt. Gabby's Shadow Dance is worn off. He's got Silver Edge available once more. So if they want to turn to no one, he's got the opportunity to do so. But there's 5 Furies from Virtus.pro ready to fight. Even an early Gem of True Sight on the Tidehunter. So no hiding inside the Shadow Blades.
And you can see this is the way VP wants to play. Enough with the shenanigans, enough with the guerrilla warfare. They're putting on the red coat uniforms and just walking in straight lines. And it's kind of what you got to do when you're playing against lineups like the one TNC is currently running. It's just so frustrating to play against a Slark when your lineup is this slow. With you don't really have a true Slark counter. The Timbersaw counts, but you can't catch him.
So your only other choice is to force down the lanes, right? Like get a better trade-off. But while you've got Slark creep skipping, you've got Tim's doing exactly the same thing. He's going to intercept the creep wave in the mid, making it so VP have to keep this creep wave alive.
And that's difficult when you consider Magnus is just going to spam shockwaves from safety. And bear in mind, another concern side of VP.
Well,
toss back.
There's your jump in, grabbing Solo, and he does not have enough life to survive this as the Frost Shield just stays in range. So Tim's, who's shallow graved up, will stay low and stay slow. Can't back up. Both dead without buyback and your RP.
Oh no, they missed.
Caught the Deucer, but your Ravage, it'll create a little bit more space. And no one, he's in the middle of this entire engagement. Turn on the Stone Gaze. Ninja Boogie can't go anywhere. 3 heroes without buyback. Ramsey's copying a lot of damage from the tier 4 towers. He's out of mana, but Gabby needs to kill off this Deucer. He has no other choice inside the Shadow Dance. He's able to do it. And Armel, a triple kill now for the Kunkka. It was him that got it with the cleave damage, even regathering up the gem. No one could not pick it up. And they may even have another chance. X marks the spot. No torrent follow-up, just keeping him there, ready for the Slark to attack, but without the Silver Edge ready, they do not want to fight that Timbersaw.
And that fight is completely different if they aren't able to deny the Aegis in the pit. It's the game changer. If Medusa is able to play with that confidence, they're going to be able to fight differently. I mean, great RP from Yor. They whiffed the boat completely. I don't think they expected the skewer. But a little bit of a miscue. But that's the not the downside, but the danger of playing this Wombo combo. It's got to happen so fast, and getting it perfect is always going to be challenging.
But they're definitely showcasing the fact of like the amount of damage, like the top 2 damage dealers in that last fight went to the Timber as well as the Kunkka. Kunkka just finding these great cleaves, and they're looking to get into more action. A smoke up from TNC on the hunt. No one is going to be the primary target. Gabby, Invis, and man, they couldn't have had this any better. Silver Edge to crack him, the boat will come in, and that's a very dead Timbersaw, down for a minute and a bit.
Smoke to the bounty rune. Tried and true strategy. Probably going to see that a lot at this tournament.
Is the economy actually, like, it's worth that much, right, to pick up the bounty rune? Because we always have the teams contest for it.
The problem is if you start giving them away, you're effectively giving away a lead. So if you're confident that in a certain timing, like 5-10 minutes from now, you'll just take the game for sure, then by all means, go for it. But at this stage of the game, it's just so much money.
Ninja Boogie trying to come in to do the D-ward. Gabby's able to reveal this pretty easily when his Shadow Dance turns off. And he's looking for a hunt. That's going to be a little too deep. But this one is a lot more achievable. Ramsey's caught out near the tier 2 tower, looking to break him. They pull him back in. They're using both controls as the leash is still available. But Gabby realizes he doesn't have enough damage to get through Ramsey's. Kunkka will come up as well. Pops the Ravage. It'll only connect over on the Slark, and he'll go Invis. And inside the Shadow Dance begins his TP, and they cannot stun him because they can't see him. Huge abilities going down for Virtus.pro, and they didn't find the kill they wanted.
Man, Gabby and Armel are both playing so well, pushing their limits to the max. Just their decision-making combined with their aggression. It's insane. He has 21 stacks on Slark, and he just got the Ravage burnt. They have a full 2 minutes where he can just run around the map with no real threat whatsoever.
And now their itemization is getting even better to enable them. Tim's going to get pushed up. The fight's coming in. Ninja Boogie's nearby, a double poison touch. No one's going to go into the fight, but he already gets broken once from the Silver Edge. The RP is ready to go. Blink in 1 second time, and that's exactly what he does. Blink straight into the fight, holding in both Timber and Dota. They were meant to be the unkillable, but Ninja Boogie of all players, combined with Armel, will take the kills.
It's perfect play from TNC. They recognize their timing advantage. The Slark is strong. There's no Ravage. You're not afraid of Medusa Timbersaw anymore because you know there's no actual follow-up. There's no peel. These heroes are just going to die, especially now that you have that Silver Edge finished on Slark.
And BT's available, really, for Tiny. So he's to the front lines as quick as he can. Actually brought the BKB for Slark. So the best courier could have asked for. No one throws down the chakram, and they're actually tossing in no one with Tims holding him in position. The silence is out and the boat, and it's a dieback for the Timbersaw. No one is down for 86 seconds without buyback available. Still no deucer up either. Oh boy, this has escalated very quickly for Virtus.pro. TNC, they've got double silver edges. They'll miss the skewer back, but it won't stop them from claiming the bottom lane of Rax. But with Timber dead for so long, they can go for more. Tims, he's looking for a toss-back target, anyone to bring in range of the attack. And now, maybe Chain Frost keeps the distance. Oh, really? That bounces all the way out to Armel and back over. Okay, just let it keep going. Sure, why not?
TNC, no.
This is a huge lead that they can throw away. That's a Kunkka with a huge spree. It goes to solos, that's the upside at least, but maybe overstaying their welcome?
Just a little bit. I mean, that's a perfect demonstration of the last 2 minutes of both the strength and the weakness of TNC. They are so good at capitalizing on advantages and so bad at recognizing when they've got all they can get and it's time to go.
It looked like they're still, like, there was like, what, 3 missed initiations underneath tier 4 towers to try and grab VP?
Those are fine. You're fishing. It's all good. But at a certain point, when your boat is full to the brim, you can pull the lines in and take it back to shore. Like, there's no need, after the skewer misses, to go in and try and toss back on top. It's fine. You know, 8K gold lead. They only lost Armel. Not out in, you know.
Yeah, they show they can deal with both the Timbersaw as well as the Deucer. I still think they have a lot of issues with the being held together by Soulbind and Double Chain Frost. Yeah, like, they're always grouped up for this.
And bear in mind, like, they got such a big lead because they capitalized on their huge window. Slark is a hero. Ooh.
Underneath the tower, he would really like to go for it, but they almost need to skewer him back away from the tower.
Just bear in mind, that fight was taken when Slark had a bonus 60 agility, not counting the 10 he had permanently. It's a snowball hero, not like... You don't want to fight into Slark with stacks. It's like rule number one. That was the fight that TNC wanted. VP gave it to them, so be it. Roche is going to spawn in a minute and a half, and that's going to be an even engagement. TNC, you got to be careful because it's still real difficult to fight into the Medusa Tide combination.
Yeah.
And so far, it's been the Armel show. I feel like every single engagement starts with an X into Torrent, followed by like an X into Boat, and immediately 2 VP heroes are dead, and TNC just wash over them like a tsunami. I don't think that that's something you can count on when you consider the vision advantage and the radiant advantage of fighting near the pit.
Do you actually like this build coming in from Armel too, where he's going for the heart, as opposed to the Daedalus?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. I don't mind it. It does give you a ton of damage. And the status resist is incredible when you're playing against Tide, but we'll see. I think he's got BKB already. I have no idea. I'm not a Kunkka player. I'll trust Armel.
Seems like a lot of defense items being put into the Kunkka where you think he's going to be doing a lot more damage. And the aggression items in the MKB is coming in for the Slark. A lot of sentries everywhere from both sides, trying to keep vision control. They don't want Gabby just walking up to them. Double silver edges make it difficult, but also an invis rune on the Magnus. Okay, yeah, okay. You put an urn charge on him. I think they understand there's a sentry nearby, but Gabby still decides to walk into it. Torrent will connect on the Deucer. Remember, there's 2 heroes who are not here at the moment. That's Tims and no one. No one's on the bottom lane.
Yeah, this is the issue with the VP lineup, where they just don't have real catch. They have great team fights, sure, but they're being punished because Armel and Gabby can just continuously push their limits, and they're never really punished. Specifically, Armel, he just operates with impunity, and at any point, he can catch a support in an X, and that guy's going to die.
Roshan's being done. Tims has already added a lot of momentum to the bottom lane, so VP they have to be quick about this, or else they're going to have a really, really bad trade-off on the bottom lane. And now Ravage catches over on 3, and the double Soulbind Chain Frost is already out. Kunkka, oh, actually they're just BKB. They don't give a crap. They stand their ground. No one's already been broken because they got the double silver edge. They can even chain this stuff. And then you find the kill on the Grimstroke. Ramsey's isolated. Deucer is the last one to kill off, and she held that stone gaze for so long. Kunkka will die. But Slark is on the hunt, and your RP finally, it has been used. That double buybacks in from Virtus.pro. They want to help out Ramses. Titan Grimstroke, they're on their way, TPing out towards the shrine. Ramses with a shallow. Is he actually going to live long enough? It's actually Slark with the shallow who stays alive long enough. And with the double torrent, maybe now Armel Show can turn back on. 4 buybacks in total committed in from Virtus.pro. And still, maybe they have enough from this. TNC is a triple kill for Ramses. Now you bring him in from TNC over to Dusa. Does Ramses have enough to survive? They're staying on top of Pasha's removed a lot of the damage thanks to the anchor smash. And now maybe they do. Yep, they go after Ramses. He's the primary target. Pasha's body blocking him up. All right, you kill him on the way through. Why not? They're both dead for 2 minutes and GG is finally called. Virtus.pro threw everything, including the kitchen sink at TNC. And TNC threw it straight back in their face.
Yep, and I think it was just a well-played game by TNC. They executed their lineup to perfection. I think that VP does make a mistake trying to take that engagement into the Slark with 20 stacks. That's the turning point in this game. But I respect how they played that end game fight. They had to try and get some sort of initiation. They get a Ravage on 2, but they don't actually have the damage to kill Slark or Kunkka. And you can see what happens. TNC they just pick them apart. Just constantly, X torrent, over and over. And even if you don't have a torrent, there's a leap, there's a pounce, there's a Q, a stun.
And the one target they thought they were going to kill off, which was the Slark very quickly, like he got Shallow Grave and had to wait even longer to finish the job on that front. So either way you look at it, it has been a terrific performance from TNC, off to a great start, and now a 1 victory away from securing a quarterfinal winner bracket position in the playoffs. They would absolutely adore that. Let's see if they can get it for Game 2 after the break.